Bobcat fans, Al Weston here for another Bobcat Coach's Corner. It's time to talk some softball with Madewell-Grodecki. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you had a great fall season, fired through the whole thing without losing, scored a bunch of runs and got some outs, and that's what it's all about, right?
You got it.
All right, so tell me about the fall. Any particular individuals that shine for you a little bit? How's the effort been, in the early preseason as well?
I think this year with the new squad, we've had with a lot of new returners. We're about half and half, old and new. So I think so far we've gelled pretty well together. Everybody's been working really hard. Like you said, we had a pretty good fall. Managed to win all of our games, which is great. And have some new kids coming in and stepping up already for us. So I think this spring they'll do really well.
Okay. Let's talk about those returners. You got a great one at that designated player spot with Haley Burnett, an all-region honoree and all-conference honoree last year. The girl just hits the cover off the ball, doesn't she?
She does, and she's continued to do that this fall. So I think she will continue to do that this spring. She is hopefully going to get plenty of innings as well on the mound, and I think she's going to have a good solid defense behind her this year, so I'm hoping she'll have some success at the plate and on the mound this year.
Now she last year I know hit quite a few home runs and is poised to look at potentially breaking our school's home run record as well. Mm-hmm. I know you've only been here for 1 year's worth of Haley, but her emergence as a player has really developed over her couple of seasons as well. Have you seen anything with her being a senior? Has she taken any sort of leadership role or anything for you this year?
She has, and she's tried to become a little more vocal. I think it's going to be more predominant in our games when we get going because their schedules are so crazy in the fall and spring that some of the seniors don't even get to be there very much at practice, unfortunately. But it's been good still because everybody still has to make up for who's not there and still gel together. So I think in the spring we'll see her stepping up even more as a leader for us.
All right, another all-conference player returning for you is Whitney Ofist in the outfield, center fielder for you, and a great bat at the top of the order. How was her fall, and how's she looking towards her sophomore season?
So far, so good. She stayed healthy. She had a few health issues in the last year, but obviously was able to still be successful. She's so far this fall and spring, she's done really well, so I expect as good or better than last year.
Stole a bunch of bases for you last year. Is she one of those type of players that has like the green light to choose when she gets to steal, or does it have to come from coach?
It's a little both. We usually just to communicate across the field if she's thinking something that I haven't already given her.
I got you. All right. So a loose leash, but still a leash perhaps.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Very nice. Well, talk about you do have a whole lot of new faces, and that's always a difficulty for a sport, particularly a team sport like yours, where defensively, in particular, you're going to have to gel as a group and do that quickly. How do you think the team morale and elements of those that new and old? How is that coming together for you, Coach?
So far pretty good. The weather hasn't overly cooperated with me this spring for us to get together and practice together a lot, but we are going to have a lot of new people in new places. But again, a lot of our returners are upperclassmen, so I think they're helping with the leadership and getting everyone to gel together. So I think we'll be pretty solid.
And I know this always happens, but at the beginning of the year, the lineup could be completely different by the end. What are some of those new faces do you think that we'll see some starting action this weekend?
Well, we have some junior college transfers that have come in. And I'm pretty sure that you'll see them at Natalie Bellantoni will be at shortstop, and Danny Gallucci will be probably starting at third base. She is also a pitcher, so you may see her standing on the mound some too. But those will be some of the new faces. I'm sure I'll have a couple of freshmen out there as well. Alex Duvall was a redshirt last year, so she will be somewhat of a new face. And she'll probably be out there on the field, too, as well this spring.
Well, I know Alex has a new position potentially as well, maybe behind the plate.
Yes, and she's been working back there this spring. But she did catch some in high school, so she's actually doing quite well. So she's got a good arm, and she looks pretty good back there.
Yeah, talking with Brittany Bennett, your assistant coach. She's a tough type, gritty player and really willing to take on a role that she wasn't prepared for.
Right. She just wants to play. She loves softball, and I think a majority of my kids have that attitude, and the more they're willing to do what's best for the team, the more successful we'll be.
Now, last year, the overall one loss, probably not where you would have liked it, but really had a nice, strong finish to the season. Played your way into the Peach Belt playoffs and even got an upset in the first round over Columbus State. Is that a source of some momentum, do you think, for those returners to know that, when it came down to it, they were able to perform and get some W's?
I think it was. I think last year we did have some upper class with us, but on the field as starters, but they hadn't seen as many innings per se on the mound and those things. So I think, again, last year it was just taking some time to gel and get a feel of, knowing we can win and competing every game and then finally having some success and then actually being able to continue doing that. I think that this fall we've picked up where we left off. So I feel like this spring we should, hopefully, if we can continue where we left off, we'll be doing even better.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to this weekend. We get things tipped off with the Bobcat Bash, we're calling it.
That's right.
A tournament-style format here where you got 4 teams playing over 2 days. First of all, the tournament format, how do you like that? We've never hosted one in my time here at Georgia College. So do you like being a host? And talk about that. What's the purpose of that early in the season?
Well, it's always nice to sleep in your own bed. So if you don't have to travel and teams are willing to come here, I think we have great facilities and, good things to offer them. So I sent out a question and just said, hey, does anybody want to come and let's do this? So I figured I had another team in our conference, Georgia Southwestern, and we decided, hey, let's just see if we can get a couple teams outside the conference will come in and play us. So Catawba and Queens, said they'd love to come down. So we're going to do a doubleheader each day with each team.
And I know Catawba and Queens in particular are both pretty solid programs and have made the regional round a couple of times recently. So it should be some pretty good softball out there at the Peeler Complex.
Yes, I think our first 3 weeks of the season will be pretty competitive, which is great because I feel like that's going to get us ready for conference play anyways, because we do have a very strong conference within our region. And hopefully if we do well, that'll help set us up to maybe even more at the end of the season.
All right, so things get started on Saturday. 1 o'clock start for the Bobcats against Queens on Saturday. Got a doubleheader there, and then on Sunday we take on Catawba. And I believe that's also a 1 o'clock start, or is that 2 then on Sunday?
I believe it's a 1 o'clock.
Okay, so 1 o'clock both days, again with those neutral site games mixed in between. If you can't make it out to the Peeler Complex this weekend for some softball, we're going to try and get you some live stats links and potentially even a broadcast on Sunday as well. So stay tuned to gcbobcats.com to see if you can find the links for that information on this weekend if you can't make it out. Our time is up here for Coach Grodecki. Al Weston for the Bobcat Coach's Corner.